What is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Dogecoin, and if you'll remember in the previous video we actually talked about entering a Dogecoin position right where this sort of position is at right now. So our entry has been hit. We did go into a slight bit of drawdown yesterday, which was roughly at 3%. However, the trade is now up and running and we are up roughly 7 to 9%. So yeah, really good trade thus far. We are going to be setting our stops into profit very soon, and again, you know, another take profit will be set right here at 25% profit, and we will just let the trade run out risk free, and it's gonna 100% secure us profit. So if you weren't able to get into that trade, make sure you're joining the Discord down below, because we're sending out like trades like this every single day into that Discord. So yeah, join up and you won't miss out on any of those trades. Now the market did have quite a big crash yesterday, but it has since recovered, and the reason I think it was a sort of market manipulated crash is because of how the candle looks. So if you'll remember a few videos ago, we talked about, you know, Bitcoin crashing down to potentially fill this entire support level, or even crash further below to essentially liquidate these lows right here. And the way you can usually tell whether the market is being manipulated or whether there is a genuine sell-off, you know, from multiple parties, is by looking at the candles. So for example, candles like this, where there is larger bodies than there is wicks, it's usually because they're momentum driven, meaning there's multiple positions being entered, you know, short or sell positions right here, and there's not really a significant amount of buyers. Where we have, you know, an equal amount of buyers and sellers, we'll usually get something that looks like this, and then usually what we'd get is, you know, the sellers sort of slowing down, and then the buyers are the only real positions that are left, and that's what drives price up. Then when it comes to selling, is again, there's usually going to be an equal amount of buyers and sellers as there was here, and then the buyers slowly fade out, there's not enough buyers left, and the sellers take over the market, and that's when we get these position sort of dumps like here. But there is also a different case, which is what we saw yesterday and again on sort of December the 5th here, and what we've seen previously as well multiple times. So what that is when there's a lot of, for example, you know, long positions, let's say right here at this support level right here at the top. What those long positions then do is they set their stop losses, for example, at these levels here. And if you didn't know, when a stop loss is hit on a long position, it essentially triggers a sell position or a sellback position, and that then drives liquidity to more buyers. So the market makers will essentially create liquidity for themselves, as there isn't enough liquidity in the market for them, especially at, you know, levels like this, for example, where you can see there's very low volatility in the market. We're not really moving, you know, for the past 2 days. So what they'll do is, especially coming up to a big day like the inauguration on the 20th of January, they'll create liquidity themselves. And how they do that is by entering mass positions like short positions and sell positions like we did here, that essentially dumps the market. And then once those longs are entered, they keep on dumping extra cash and extra capital into the short positions against those longs. Those longs then either get stopped out or liquidated, and essentially driving more fear into the market. More people are going to start selling. That adds more liquidity to buyers, and then they close the short positions, quickly buy up these positions here at a lower price, and then essentially just wait until the, you know, big day, which is the inauguration, and we ride into the profits where they can slowly start to sell off. That's usually how these market makers will play it, and it's evident because it happened on all cryptos. Obviously Bitcoin is the main one that market makers trade. You're not going to see a market maker going on and trading, for example, dog with hat. Now, whilst that is evident mostly on Bitcoin, all altcoins act in accordance to Bitcoin unless there's any specific news event. And if all coins are going to act in accordance to Bitcoin, then it means that the altcoins are also going to have these wicks. So that's how our entry really got hit yesterday, and luckily for us, it wasn't a momentum driven sell off, which means that people aren't really actually trying to sell off the position. We are still looking strong, we are still in a bull market, and the 20th of January is going to be a very big day. The stock market is closed on the 20th of January also, which means all eyes are on Bitcoin and the entire crypto market, which is going to be a very interesting day. You know, I think it's going to be one of the most hyped up days ever, even though there probably isn't that much hype on the news or on social media, but there wasn't either for the election. But this is a sure thing, so yeah, it will be very interesting to see whether it's going to be sort sort of a buy the rumor, sell the news sort of scenario, because even leading up to the election, we did have quite a big spike up. Now, obviously, since we've had another spike up, and now it will be interesting to see whether we get another spike up. But back to Dogecoin. So yeah, our position is running in profits, which is very, very good to see. As for another accumulation zone, if you weren't able to get in, I'm not 100% sure that another one will occur unless, you know, we get a potential sell-off in the next sort of 4-6 days where we just come back down, consolidate, and then come back up. I'm not 100% sure whether that will happen, but again, we're prepared for it in the position by setting our stops to profit and just letting the trade ride out. So if we do come back down, I think this area in specific is going to be, again, another good area to keep on accumulating. We can make this dark. Yeah, essentially where our entry was initially, this right here is a really good range to just try and enter a few positions in at. As for selling positions, I'd really be looking towards, you know, at least this resistance level right here. It is 30% away, which is quite, or 25% away, sorry, which is quite significant. Especially with 10-20x leverage, you're looking at 250 to 500% profit. And then further up, it's obviously 45-50% profit, which you can obviously set to price target number 2. And once we reach this, you just set your stops higher up and higher up, essentially having a trailing stop loss, so you're always going to be in profits. That's the way I usually like to play it, and the way I teach my members to play it also. That way you're trading with very little risk, and the only real risk you have is when entering the position. But even then, we enter on a lower time frame basis. Like here, for example, was a good order block and demand zone, hence why we entered here. And yeah, that's usually the best way to do it. Higher time frame narrative. Here we can obviously see this is a good zone. Bullish, we've been bullish numerous times from this zone, and then a lower time frame entry to really pinpoint where you can get a good entry in at. And then stops, it's really important to be checking the lower time frame really often, because again, here, if you set your stop losses to, you know, the previous low we had here, then you would have been essentially triggered very quickly. This is like it on the 3rd hour of the trade. Because of how volatile the market was, you would have been instantly stopped out. So it's always important to place it slightly below, and obviously watch the market. If we continue trending down, maybe it's best to close out of the position and try and find a better entry once we start consolidating slightly more. But again, these positions are all different. You know, if it's a regular sell-off in the market, then you wouldn't really find a lower time frame entry. But when it's this sort of manipulation that occurs, it's quite easy, I'd say, to find an entry if you've actually experienced the manipulations before. And once we get to the highs of the bull market, that's when you'll start to experience even more manipulations in the form of Wyckoff distributions and other distribution areas and zones. So yeah, that's the way you're going to have to be playing it, you know, at least for the latter part of the bull market. Now, other coins I'm going to be keeping an eye out for this week are going to be coins like XRP, which has been performing really well, barely affected by that crash actually. Sui, another coin which I'm looking to enter positions in at, and we've entered spot positions, but no futures positions have been, you know, entered yet. But again, I'm going to announce all my positions in the Discord, so make sure you join that up. FetchAI, another good coin. It's, you know, right at this support area, so might look for another long position on this coin. Polkadot sort of trending below the support, so that might be position to look in worthwhile. Solana also on the support. Ethereum sort of did a Bitcoin where it tapped into the support and now it's trending back up. So again, lots of positions to look for. The market is giving us a lot of opportunity, and it's up for us to really take it. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you need a place to buy, sell, or trade any sort of cryptocurrency for the lowest fees, make sure you check out all the exchanges we're working with down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.